Turn now to an NBC News exclusive. We are hearing from the Philadelphia rap superstar whose stiff sentence over probation violations has garnered national attention and calls for criminal justice reform, and even enlisted the support of Jay-Z. So compelling is Meek Mill's story that his prison visitors have included everyone from billionaire sports moguls to the mayor of Philadelphia. His troubles began in 2007 when he was 19, convicted on gun possession and drug charges. He served just 7 months back then, but Mill has never gotten off probation. And even though he hasn't been convicted of another crime, he's back in prison. I spoke to him by telephone yesterday.
It was always a thought in the back of my mind that 10 years of probation would bring me back to prison.
And he was right, because he got arrested again, twice. Last year, he was caught popping a wheelie on a motorcycle and was also involved in a separate altercation. Both charges were dismissed. Even so, Judge Janice Brinkley found him in technical violation of his probation, and in November, sentenced him to 2 to 4 years in prison. The sentence sparked an outrage. Jay-Z penned an op-ed in the New York Times saying, "What's happening to Meek Mill is just one example of how our criminal justice system entraps and harasses hundreds of thousands of black people every day."
For instance, life without parole in Pennsylvania doesn't have a big constituency, but it's an issue that should be addressed. There are people on serving life in PA that shouldn't be in jail anymore. But if you highlight a case like this, where you start with this seriousness of the initial offense, he was initially accused of pointing a loaded firearm at a police officer while exiting a house that was about to be raided for drug dealing. He went to trial. The judge acquitted him of the most serious offense, but did find him guilty of drug dealing and possessing an illegal firearm. She then gave him immediate house arrest following the conviction, so he wasn't held in custody pending his sentence. At sentencing, the DA asked for 5 years in prison. She didn't give him 5 years in prison. She gave him probation. And if you look at the public docket, which is available online, which I've reviewed, it doesn't read like a probation history. It reads like a concert tour history. The judge signed multiple orders granting him, while on probation, permission to go to places like Athens, Greece, Dubai, Paradise Island, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Curacao, Cancun, on and on. These are actual orders in the probation history that were signed by the judge, allowing him essentially to pursue his career. So if you go back to the seriousness of the initial offense, he could have very easily spent the past 10 years incarcerated, but he didn't. So when you point to this as a reason for reform, those people that aren't with you yet are going to look at those facts and say, I'm not for reform, because this is a person who was convicted of a serious offense and given every opportunity to succeed.
Ariva, it sounds like the docket, according to Brian,